This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important update to share with you. Finally, some good news with the economy. The new inflation numbers came out. I'll let you know what that is. President Biden currently drafting a new executive order. When it comes to the government shutdown, it looks like it may be delayed a little longer with the deadline on Friday. I'll let you know what Chuck Schumer says about that. And then when it comes to stimulus, $500 monthly checks may be going to a state that you wouldn't expect. $500 monthly checks officially going out in another state, and there is a massive tax rebate going out to a different state. I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So, consumer prices rose less than expected in November, up 7.1% from a year ago. So, this officially came out just a few minutes ago. So, prices rose less than expected in November, the latest sign that the runaway inflation that had been gripping the economy is beginning to loosen up. So Consumer Price Index, the CPI, which measures a wide basket of goods and services, rose just 0.1% from the previous month and increased 7.1% from a year ago. Economists surveyed that they expected it was going to be a 0.3% increase. And 7.3%. That's what they expected. If we look at the chart right here, we could see it's going down. October was 7.8%. We had the peak of it in June at 9%. And you can see if you minus the food and energy cost, it's like around 6%. Down from 6.3% the month before. So it is going down. This is a good sign. Not as fast as it went up, but it is going down. Let me know if our government could be doing more to help out with inflation. Next, let's talk about the Biden administration drafting executive order to simplify space rules. So the Biden administration is drafting an executive order for 2023 to streamline the licensing and approval process for private rocket launches and satellite deployment. The order would modernize and clarify U.S. space regulation for American companies, which have been growing their space divisions in recent years, talking about SpaceX from Elon Musk. And then the White House has held private meetings with space companies over the last year to discuss regulatory landscapes. So I guess this is going to be an executive order coming directly from President Biden of who can launch rockets, who can't launch rockets. So we'll find out more about that. Executive order not officially out yet. When it comes to the government shutdown, Chuck Schumer says Senate likely headed for short-term funding bill to stave off shutdown. So Friday at midnight is the government shutdown deadline. If nothing is done before then the government will shut down as it has in the past. Nothing too bad, at least for the first 3 or 4 weeks. Then it starts to get really bad after that. But Chuck Schumer said on the Senate floor, members should be prepared to take quick action on a weak continued resolution. He also said this: the benefits of an omnibus are as many as the number of citizens in America. All of us are better off when the government is fully equipped to provide vital services millions rely on. So where we stand right now is Senate tees up 1 week funding bill to avert a government shutdown. So basically what's going to happen here is the Senate they're going to try to pass a stopgap measure, basically just delaying the deadline for 1 week. Meanwhile, some Republicans are saying it should be delayed until the new Congress enters January 3rd, which would have the majority for the House Republicans. So there's a lot of back and forth here. The main thing is Democrats want an extra $26 billion for government funding, but the Republicans are saying no, so that $26 billion is the difference there. And the Republicans are saying that the Democrats already had a few reconciliation bills, spent many billions of dollars. Now it's the Republicans' turn to cut back. So that's kind of the back and forth of what's going on there. Take a look at the Republican perspective right here.
All right, let's talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and American greatness with Senator Joni Ernst of the great state of Florida. Senate GOP Conference Vice Chair, Senator Ernst, as always, welcome back to the show. It's good to see you.
Hey, Larry, I'd like to correct you, though. It's not Florida. It is Iowa.
Did I say Florida? I take it back. I don't know why. It's nothing wrong. Iowa, nice. We always like Iowa. Can I just ask you, just quickly, because we're talking about a lame duck spending spree and an omnibus bill. The Heritage Foundation is out with an analysis that says If there's an omnibus, Senator, it would be $1.9 trillion, which is what it was back in March of 2021 when 40-year inflation was launched. But it actually could be even more than that if they put in stuff from pensions, COVID, tax loopholes. And the budget numbers just came out today for the month of December in the new fiscal year, and they're running $55 billion above last year. We could be ready for a $2 trillion budget deficit again. I mean, is there something we can do not to have this lame duck spending spree?
Well, Larry, we haven't even seen text on any sort of bill. And I agree, there's all kinds of egregious spending that we see at the end of the year, especially when members of Congress do an omnibus bill. They tend to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into these bills, and we see spending that doesn't need to be there. So we're hoping that we can sort through this, but again, we don't have text for an omnibus, we don't have text for a continuing resolution, and this is a very poor way to operate our federal government. So we're hoping to return to regular order, but that's not happening right now.
I don't want to belabor the point because I know there is no text in the House either, apparently, according to my sources.
And that's right.
But there's this word called pay for. Now, it's an old word. It's from Middle English. It's probably from the 15th or 16th century. No one here in the 21st century understands the word pay for. But is it not possible, if you're going to spend $1 someplace, you could cut $1 someplace else? Or have we completely lost that from our vocabulary?
Absolutely, Larry, you've got it. And it seems to be an outdated, old-fashioned word when we talk about pay for. But folks, bottom line, our federal government, if we're going to spend that money, we need to know where that money is coming from. And at this point, we don't know where that money is coming from. And what we see the Democrats doing, they are pushing for additional spending in whatever this bill might look like at the end of the year, when they have already spent over $700 billion funding their Democratic priorities in this past year, things that no Republicans voted for. They did these through a number of series of spending bills that were done entirely on party lines. We need to stop that. They funded their priorities, so let's get rid of them in this end of the year spending. Let's focus on our military and the things our federal government must do, not what the Democrats want to do.
Well, Senator, and speaking of our military, can we switch gears slightly? The U.S. is fighting a climate war, but it's not fighting a military war. And all these incredible climate restrictions that are being put down by the Biden administration. So my favorite idea here is we have this fabulous B-21, the new version of the stealth bomber. There's nothing like it any place in the world. It can drop any kind of bombs, including, if I'm not mistaken, nuclear bombs. But the trouble is it's going to have to be powered by windmills, or by solar, or maybe by AAA, you know, those flashlight batteries that you probably have in the top drawer of your desk, because they won't let us use oil and gas or any fossil fuels. What do you make of this climate war rather than a military war?
Well, I'm voting for hamsters on wheels to power the B-21. But no, in all seriousness, what we saw, and here's another example, during the discussion on the National Defense Authorization Act, the Pentagon was actually pushing as a priority to transition their all non-tactical vehicle fleet to electric vehicles. This is what they're focused on, instead of ensuring that we have the most lethal fighting force on the face of the planet. We need to take a step back and make sure that we are funding lethal priorities. We need to make sure that we're outfitting our men and women with the latest and greatest. So if we send them to war, they come home safely. We need to make sure that we are actually able to recruit and retain members. These are all things that DOD has not focused on. Instead, they are focused on a climate agenda.
So what are your thoughts on that? Should the Democrats spend less like the Republicans are saying, or what are your thoughts there? Let me know your thoughts on that. And then $500 monthly stimulus checks from Missouri possible. So a possible $500 monthly check here to St. Louis, Missouri. Basically, the proposal to send these monthly stimulus checks from Missouri has been approved by the zonal committee, but it still needs to clear several steps before it becomes a law. So a potential plan would be using federal stimulus money to send $500 to about 440 households for 18 months. That's what's going on in St. Louis, Missouri. And then stimulus update, massive tax rebate checks worth 14% to arrive within the next 3 days. This is going on in Massachusetts, and residents are set to receive tax rebates 14% of what they paid in state income taxes in a matter of days. So if you live in Massachusetts, whatever you paid in state income taxes, for every $100, that's $14 you could get back within a few days. So yeah, that's the bonus checks going on in Massachusetts. And then just 48 hours until thousands of Americans receive monthly $500 lottery payment. This is going on in Cook County, Illinois, where Chicago is. Basically, 3,250 residents are getting the $500 monthly checks, which is probably the biggest amount of guaranteed income or universal basic income program we've seen in the country. So it'll be $500 monthly checks for 2 years, and the first payment will be issued on December 15th. So this is closed. It's not opening more, but I don't know. This is huge. Huge amount of people getting that. That's definitely the biggest there. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Oh, hi guys, I didn't see you there. Just so you know, you guys are great to me. You guys are special to me. I need you here beside me. And you are so nice. Do you know why? Cause you're so nice right now.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. And I'm not just saying that, I really do mean it. And if you like how I got straight to the point, let you know the facts, no rambling, no fluff, subscribe to the channel so you could get more videos like this, like the video, all that YouTube stuff to help out the channel. And yeah, if you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, click right up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.